what does it feel like to stutter? Only a stutterer truly understands what it feels like to have the way of speak commonly known as a stutter. As a stutterer myself, I feel so extremely misunderstood. For a lot of people, speaking is a simple task. For me, a stutterer, speaking is a extremely intricate and mentally and physically exhausting roller coaster ride of an experience. That's true. Just for saying that, I just feel like if it's like almost like exercise. It's like tiring. It's crazy, but it is what it is. You know. I think I have a bad habit that I like. I'm trying to stop. Like when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I don't look at the person. Like I look up or I look down or I even like close my eyes because like it's like it can be uh, awkward, in the facial expressions that come from people as they see me, you know, stuttering. It's like I'm just trying to say what I'm trying to say, and then I'm trying to move on. But like you have to look a person in the eye. I don't care. If you're a fluent speaker or this fluent speaker. If you can't make contact with somebody, something wrong. You know. Um. Growing up, it was just so inconsistent. For me. It's no such thing as perfect. But for me, it was just it was just super inconsistent to where I can say this today that it was a problem. Sometimes it affects you. When something happens to you, it's gonna stay with you your whole life, and it was just so awkward and inconsistent. I just say it like that. School was very, challenging, for me. I wasn't getting the attention, like the attention that I needed to have because, like, so many of my teachers, I can see this today that, like, you know, teachers don't care. Like, like I only met a few teachers that actually, was was a great teacher, something like that, too, and hopefully, after I get done with school, hopefully I can help some folks out too, as a teacher, So, as a child, I pretty much kept to myself. Really, I had, I was afraid of the rejection. I received so much of it. I never was being taken seriously as a speaker. I just stopped trying. I just stick to myself. If somebody want to associate with me, then they came to me. I don't think I ever started a conversation with anybody. I think if I start talking because you know I was, it was just I had to survive. I just had to kind of cut off, because I didn't know how to understand it, but I just knew I had to, like until today. I think it's not as much of a challenge, but coming up, it's really hard for a child, start, especially if the right people and ain't leading that child, then it's gonna be especially hard. Like the journey to find yourself. It's challenging. But for a person like with a stutter and not, you know, it's kind of even more challenging because because of uh ignorance of society. I always trying to tell you, who you are, and so, you know, you know, only you can tell yourself who you is. But first, you have to understand that you are a power to do that. Um. So like today, just like I said, like at this point, I feel like I I started to believe my own power and my own purpose, and then and now I understand that it starts with self love. When you come into the world, all you truly have for yourself, and the only thing that like you truly earn is the stuff that you leave behind. So you gotta make sure you know like something important behind, and make sure it's personal. Don't leave behind what folks tell you to leave behind. You create, like me, I express myself through my art. And I think at first subconsciously, like I was just doing it because like I have been drawing my whole life ever since I was a child. But like like I was like 19 or 20, like I understood that like it's something here. I'm not just doing this just to do it. But now I understand that it is a form of communication. It's a form of teaching. you know and now that I understand that, I made sure, like to make it even more personal and more important, and talk about things that are truthful. You talk about the things from your own perspective. Because it's not going to come from anywhere else. But through expressing yourself through some kind of art. And I think that's very important. To instill like in a child, at a real early stage. Because I'm just glad I'm an artist, and I can create content like like this. It'll help me. Uh, with that stuff. Yeah. So all that stuff is how it feels like. To have a stutter. All right. Thanks.